20 this and 30 this. You know, anything beyond that point, you're running the risk of having complications during your pregnancy and blah blah blah. So, you know, but as far as women having high standards, I don't agree with that, man.
What I mean is, I'm saying like scaring guys off.
No, I don't think women. No, I don't believe in none of that stuff neither,
listen,
man.
I absolutely.
I don't think women scare men off. Dog.
I agree with Court.
Nah, man.
You want a man to make 100. You want to make a man to make 6 figures. You want a man to be.
I don't know. I don't have no standard.
No, I think no. What's happening? No, what's happening? I think women have, generally speaking. All right, so I want the audience out there to understand this is general talk here,
Right.
Not every specific case. I mean, we understand that every situation is different, but generally speaking, I think that women's standards can be a little bit higher, and I think they're getting the short end of the stick in terms of relationship and what they want and commitment because their standards are not as high as they should be. Now, I mean, yeah, we all hear, okay, certain women want this high 6-figure salary making guy, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, when you look at their dating history, they're not dating men like that.
No.
They're not dating men like that. I don't care what woman tells you, what she says. I don't care what comes out of a woman's mouth. It's about what she does and where she's been.
True.
Meaning what type of men she's dated in her past. You know, because anybody can talk a good game. Oh, I want this, I want that, but what are you doing is what's important.
Sure.
What are you doing?
So you're saying to me that now, say for instance, like
I think they're making the game a little bit too easy for men, which is why I think a lot of men aren't willing to commit. It's like, come on, man. I mean, if you're sitting there and you know you're getting the milk for free.
Yeah.
Right? If you're getting the milk for free consistently with different women.
Yeah.
What is your motivation to commit?
You're just gonna keep getting it. You're just gonna keep getting it.
What is the motivation to commit? There is no motivation to commit.
There is no motivation.
Exactly.
Well, no
so
incentive,
where are
no
the high
incentive.
standards coming into that situation?
But now let me
There
ask
are
you.
none.
Let me ask you this
There are
question.
none, because if the standards were high, the milk wouldn't be given away for free. It would be selling at a premium.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this question. Say for instance you're with one girl, right? And the next one is like, nah, yeah, you can take the milk anytime you want. Automatically, as men, we're gonna go to that girl that we're gonna get the milk.
Hold on. To that point, I say it depends on where you're at in life.
Okay.
It depends on where you're at in life. If you are just still looking to have fun, you're going to go to that girl.
Okay.
All right? But if you're looking for something serious and more meaningful, if you're at that point in your life, you're not going to give up something potentially good for some loosey-goosey.
But how do you know it's potentially good?
But that's
if
what the
you don't
investment is all
if you
about.
don't experience.
No, see, but you're talking about two different things now. If you're in a stage of life where you're experimenting, experiencing, and just going out and playing the field, more than likely you're not going to be looking for anything good. You're just going to be out there playing the field. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the stage of life that you're in.
Yeah.
But once you reach that point where you feel like, look, I want something more meaningful. This running around thing is not fulfilling anymore. I'm looking for something. I want something more established. You're not going to go seek these. You're not going to go actively looking for these frivolous relationships. You're going to try to establish something meaningful with somebody, and you're going to invest yourself and your time and your energy in that person that strikes your
So,
fancy.
Victory, you're telling me that women never drive men away? You think that every woman is available? Okay, I'm here. You don't think women ever drive men away?
Some do. Some do.
I think some women do. You know,
And I'm not talking
depending
about
on
with
the
kids. I'm talking about
No.
just
There's some women
their
who have
state of
very
being.
crass
So.
personalities and they're hard to deal with. Absolutely. But I mean, I think they're few and far and in between, honestly.
Okay, so Black Thought,
Honestly.
you had said earlier that you was in that situation and you become jaded. Now, what made you become jaded as far as cohabitating
Well,
with
not
another
necessarily jaded that, because if I find a woman that I want to be committed to, I'm going to commit to her. I'm not afraid of commitment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of commitment, so if I find a woman that I think I'm compatible with, I'm going to get into a relationship with her and I'm going to make it last,
So what would a woman, I'm sorry, what would a woman do that would make you reluctant to commit? What are some things that she would do to make you say, you know what, I'm not too sure?
That 90-day rule.
She's got to be a liar.
No, that would make you reluctant.
Reluctant.
That's what he's
She's
saying.
got to be a liar. You know what I'm saying? She's got to be a lawyer. No, a liar. She has to be a liar. And she kind of I've lived with, and I've dated women that were kind of messy. I don't want that. Because I want a woman that has that can institute some sort of order, not only for herself but for the children that she and I are going to bring into this world. So those two things for me, order and not lying. She can't be coming up with all types of crazy, because I've dealt with those kinds of women and I can't deal with that. So the woman that I commit to has to, for me, though, she has to meet those two standards.
So how would you know that, Black I Thought, without actually?
You don't have to live with them to know that.
I totally disagree.
You don't have to live with a woman to know that. I dated a woman. I dated a woman for like a year, man, and I didn't have to live with her. And I knew exactly I don't want to be with this woman.
Well, she showed her true colors before.
Exactly, bro.
But a lot of women out there nowadays.
But you don't have to live and you don't have to go to bed with her every single night and go act like husband and wife.
I just feel like you'll never know unless you live. I feel like you'll never know.
There's an old saying. There's an old saying that says, I don't remember what the hell the saying is, but I know it has.
You're in a relationship with her, so you should be talking to her all the time. You should be interacting with her all the time. You should be, you should be doing things with her all the time.
Tell him
that I know this is my girl. I know what she's gonna do. She's gonna cross the street this way. She's gonna shake her boot. You're supposed to know everything that she does. You know what I'm saying?
But that's not human nature.
You don't have to live with her.
Bro, let me tell you something. If you're dating someone, whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter, yo, right? Whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, if you don't learn your partner without having to live with them, something wrong with you. Something is wrong with your radar.
No.
Something is wrong with your radar, dog. Because if you can't, let me tell you something. That means to me, if you can't figure out what kind of person you're dealing with without having to live with them, then your wiring is screwed up in terms of like, your understanding.
You would get married before you live with them? You would get married first before you live with them?
Yeah, I probably would.
So let me
I probably would because here's the thing.
Percentage-wise.
This probably with them, it won't be for a long period of time.
If I ever cohabitated with a woman before I got married, it really would probably be like maybe
2 months,
a couple months before I get married.
All right, so let me ask you this question. So she has her own place.
Yeah.
She was late on her electric bill. She was late on a water bill.
How would you know that?
But you would know that.
But I wouldn't know that. But
how would you?
Here's how I would know.
Before you come to the house.
If she late, you wouldn't know.
Before you come to the house.
I would know.
How? Hold on.
Here's how you would know.
How would you?
Here's how you would know.
Yeah.
She would reveal that to you in conversation.
No,
because let me tell you something. No, hold on.
You're coming over and catching it when it's back on.
No,
you're not talking to your girl.
You're not talking to your girl. You're not talking to your girl.
Because your girl's going to tell you everything. Man.
Exactly.
If you have the right.
If you listen to your woman, let me tell you something, though. My advice to men: you listen to your woman, and then you don't listen to your woman.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You listen to your woman, and then you don't listen to your woman. There's certain things you listen to what they're saying. Certain things you gotta know, like whatever. But she's gonna tell you everything. She's gonna tell you everything.
Yeah.
It's for you as a person to be perceptive enough to understand what she's telling you.
But she doesn't want to make herself look bad. She's not going to say,
look,
I'm late on this, I'm late on that.
Let me tell you something. You will be able to see who you're dealing with, dog. I mean, she's going to tell you in so many different ways. She may not come out and say, Dag, I paid my... She may come out and say, man, I'm late on my electric bill. Or she may not. But you can be able to discover this in many different ways. If she's having money issues, if she's asking you for money, right? If something gets cut off, cable or whatever the case is, you know there may be a problem there. There's all these different cues that will show up. You know what I'm saying? You don't just have to live with a person and be there under their skirt 24/7 for you to understand and know about them. You can deal with that person and spend time with them and talk to them, and they will really reveal themselves. Now, I mean, I don't know what you guys' dating history has been like, but I mean, if you're talking to somebody, you just met somebody, of course that stuff is not necessarily going to be revealed off the rip.
Fresh,
but if I'm assuming that this conversation is about somebody that you've been with for a while. And if you've been with this person for a while meaning like a year plus, and you don't know certain things like that, there's a problem with you, dog.
Hey, but you know
seriously, there's a problem with you.
But think
you know
about
what I'm
that.
saying? Like your game ain't on point.
But the thing about that is that there's a lot of women out there who they pull the wool over your eyes.
Yo,
man.
look.
You know
The game only lasts for so long.
We've all done this.
Let's look at all these.
We're going off tangent.
Yeah, we are. But you know, this is minority men. This is what we do.
Right.
We spit game. So let's talk about, like, for instance, Deion Sanders right now, who's going through a divorce, right? He had the foresight to say, listen, I'm gonna make this woman sign a prenup.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods didn't need it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He
But
didn't
listen,
do it.
let me tell you something.
No, he
Did it?
didn't.
Wait, no, he didn't.
He didn't. No. Okay.
Nah, he didn't sign a
Nah,
prenup.
he didn't.
Michael Jordan.
But-
he didn't do it.
But Michael Jordan, it's a different story. Whatever.
But hold on. But listen, I don't really like to use athletes because their lifestyle is vastly different from ours. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't like to use athletes because, listen, those athletes, they don't have regular dating lives. Their dating lives can't be comparable to your average, everyday 9-to-5 Joe.
Why?
Because their world is far different from ours, meaning that they get women who throw themselves at them, you know,
Okay.
groupies or whatever the case is, right?
Okay.
I think athletes have a difficult time identifying good quality women
Yeah.
from bad quality women. And the reason why I say this, and we can take the sample from, what is it, Basketball Wives and all these different shows that we have on TV, and I'm looking at these women, I'm like, really, somebody really married these women?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, I mean, to me, I wouldn't even consider them, you know, candidates for a relationship, much less marriage. So for me to sit here and look, I'm thinking like for a man to sit here and take these women, seeing this kind of behavior that's unladylike or whatever.
Yeah,
I ain't judging nobody. Let me not say that, but you know, this kind of behavior from women that I don't think is really ideal for a wife. They, you know, some of them give off the impression that they don't really know how to take care of their home. They're just dating these men for the money and the lifestyle. And these men marry them. To me, it shows me that these guys don't really know what to look for in a woman and a mate, because a lot of them end up divorced. You know what I'm saying? Like divorce, and they're surprised that these women just going after their change. They don't know that.
But
You know
that's
what I
why
mean?
a lot of men are probably afraid to commit because they didn't have the school. Like, let's be honest, a lot of men didn't grow up with the fathers, didn't grow up with that men background that teach them about
I
women.
mean, that's true, but listen.
So I'm saying a lot of them are probably don't know what to look for, which is why a lot of them are not sure if they should commit or
Check
not.
it out. Let's look at these star athletes, right? They didn't become star athletes overnight. All right, these cats were star athletes from high school, right? Do you think their dating life in high school? Think back to high school. The athletes with the groupie chicks, they didn't have to work for these girls. You know what I'm saying? These women threw themselves at them.
But you never know.
Hold on. This is what they were used to. This is what they didn't have to work for anything. They just get the prettiest girl. Their thing is like, yo, let me get this real pretty. She got a banging body. She look good. She want me. Hey, I'm gonna take her. They're not looking at character. They're not looking at this. They don't have to because they have all these women coming to their door. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas men like us, right? Everyday 9-to-5ers, whatever you want to call us, right? We have enough sense, hopefully, to look for something more meaningful, because we would assume the woman that we're meeting, most like that we're dealing with, isn't really out for paper.
Yeah.
They're not out for that lifestyle. That they're not in that groupie mindset where you're looking for some kind of notoriety, some kind of fame, the lifestyle that comes with this. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, well, you would assume they're looking for something meaningful like you are.
You would assume.
You would assume they're looking for something meaningful like you are. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully your radar is up and your antennae enough so you can, you know, identify these women, weed them out. But those athletes who have been star athletes from high school or whatever, they didn't need to put this radar because the women came to them like that. And those women, they have their agenda set. You know what I'm saying? They want the fame, they want the prospective fortune, all that stuff. These guys don't know how to pick these women because that's what they're used to. So they grow up dealing with these groupie chicks and they just end up marrying these groupie chicks. Those ain't your regular, you know, day-to-day girls. These are groupies they're marrying. Groupies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to compare, you know, what regular dudes, regular Joes do to these celebrity lifestyle because it's a completely different playing field. The motivation is for dating is different. The motivation is completely different, yo.
You really think it's different?
I think it's different, though.
Yeah.
Do you think the playing field changes if you have a child with this woman? Say you guys are in a relationship. No, just your average 9-to-5 Joe. Say you, for instance, Victory, you meet a woman, you guys are kicking it for a long time.
Will that make me want to commit?
You have a child with her. Now,
back to the commitment thing? Are we going back to the commitment thing or are we still kind of strained?
No. You have a child with her. So now at that point, she's like, listen, we've been together, we have a child. What are we doing here? Put yourself in that scenario. What do you do?
Look, man, as far as me, let Victory go on record and say this, man. Having a child with someone is not a determining factor in being with that person for the rest of my life, yo.
Black of thought?
I would